In the meantime, we're moving on to tips for an energy-efficient home that will reduce our carbon footprint and lower that energy bill, which is paramount right now. Here to help us out are the Bro-Laws. Thanks, Brian. Hey, Dave and Joey. Always good to see you. Now, when it comes to energy efficiency, you actually say that house flippers are part of the problem. What do you mean by that?
I mean, we're builders and we see firsthand how much garbage goes into the landfill from renovations. And house flippers, or people who are just trying to do a quick reno to get the most sale out of their house, they're using cheap products. They don't care how long it lasts. It's probably going to only last a year, 2 years, where the proper turnover of a project should be 20, 30, 40 years.
Absolutely. So doing a renovation properly, it is more expensive. When you had us on here last time, we talked about 2023 being an expensive year for doing it, but thankfully the Canada Greener Homes Grant can make you eligible for rebates. So when you're getting into things like insulation, windows and doors, heat pumps, or if you're doing environmentally friendly systems in your home, then you can be eligible for up to $10,000 in rebates.
Ooh, that's very good. See, you talked to us about the problem, but now you have a solution. Thank you. Okay, let's talk a little bit about insulation. This is a huge money saver if it is done right?
Yeah, so insulation is what sits in between the walls of our house to keep everything warm. So our temperature fluctuates from -20 to +30, 40. Everything's all over the place here. And this insulation is keeping the hot out in the summer and the cold out in the winter. So think of it as like your puffy jacket in the winter. You know, I've got some puffiness here built in, and it keeps you warm and insulated, right?
Yes. And thankfully, building code has come a long way with insulation. You used to just be able to take old newspaper, crumple it up, and throw it in the wall and call that insulation. That does not do the trick anymore. So check out where you live, what your building code is for local, and then that's going to make the hugest difference as far as keeping that air transfer from happening.
So during a basement renovation, if you install insulation around, so usually you have your concrete wall in the basement. If you put R22 insulation around, you can be eligible for up to $2,000 in savings, which is pretty much the exact same cost of the material itself. So it's paying for itself, and if you want to do it as a DIY, it's something easy to be able to do. You're just stuffing it in. It's nice and loose. You don't want it to squish into place. You want to keep it loose. And if you take a little bit of baby powder, put it on your hands before you do it. It closes your pores so that you don't get that itch when you work with it.
I was going to say, you don't want to be touching that, but you can if you've got the baby powder. And also, would you do gloves?
Yes. Gloves are always a good idea.
You might as well be safe about it. Let's talk a little bit about windows and doors, because we know a lot of air might escape through those two sources.
Yeah, so this is your biggest point of escape usually in the home, because if everything else is done properly, it should be sealed, but around windows and doors can be a real problem. So one way to show this off, go close to a window if you feel that cold air, light a match, light a candle, blow it out, and see what the smoke does. If it starts escaping the house and it's getting pulled or pushed around, that means there's too much air transfer there. So it might be time to change out the windows. Now, if you're going to do a reno and change out your windows, you can be eligible for up to $325 per window, up to $5,000 you could get back for that. Now, you might have windows that are in decent shape, but they have other issues with the insulation.
So when you're doing a renovation project and you don't necessarily want to replace all the windows, an easy solution is when the window goes in between the framing, there's a bit of a gap that's in there. And typically what you'll see is some insulation kind of squished in there. But like I said, with insulation, when it's squished, it's not doing a good job. So you can take some wide gap filler for windows and doors and go around and fill those in. It's going to create a tighter seal between the window and the framing so that you can have everything locked in. This is something your contractor can do or something you can do, and then add some nice new trim on, and it's going to be beautiful.
Really good. I want to talk about older homes. There are so many of us living in older homes. My home is like, I don't know, 1905, I believe it was built. So like it's an old home. What do you need to think about in these houses?
So older homes that either run off of oil or they've been retrofitted for a furnace, sometimes they're not the most efficient. So adding an air source heat pump like what we have in front here is the ClimaPure XE system from Panasonic. And basically it's similar to an air conditioner, but it also converts the air in the wintertime to create heat as well. So you can install this on like a second story. If you're having a hard time from the furnace pulling the hot air up there, you can install that up there to be able to balance that a lot better.
So their whole Breathe Well suite of products is amazing. And two things that we love about it. One is the Comfort Cloud app, which is great. I don't know if you have this for a thermostat at home, but the ability to control your house environment from a phone is amazing. If you go away somewhere hot in the wintertime and you're coming home to our cold climate, to be able to just just touch on your phone and turn your house on so that it's hot when you return is massive.
Or the opposite.
Yes.
You're coming home and your house is a burning inferno because you haven't run the air conditioning in forever, right? All the plants are dead and you're coming back into a sauna, so you can put your air conditioning on.
Absolutely.
That's
so tossing in a unit like this, the rebate can be up to $6,500, which is huge.
That is awesome.
It heats, cools, and purifies. So it's doing everything for you in that, especially if you had an old oil tank heating system in there. It's not the most efficient. So this is just adding to that efficiency. So you can get up to $6,500 of a rebate to put this in. So you're saving money on the install, and then it's going to save you on your energy bill long term as well.
Absolutely. And how do we get the money, honey?
Yes.
Because we always talk about rebates, and I'm like, who are we asking for the rebate, and who is sending me the check? Who's putting the money in my account?
So there are energy advisors now. So depending on where you live, Googling, finding a local energy advisor, they'll come in and assess your house before the renovation. So see where things are at, and then they'll tell you what you can do to add to it and what rebates are available. And then they'll come back afterwards once you've done them, and that's how you'll be able to get that rebate, so you can get the money in your pocket. I want the money in my account. It's such a good feeling. All right, thank you so much, guys. Always incredible information.